Welcome to Cycling Australia's coverage of the National Road Series. It's the Tour of the Great South Coast, brought to you by Campolina and Visit Victoria. Just looking back here at the early stages of Stage 4. It's from to Casterton, the roads to Casterton. And interesting conditions for the overall race leader in Aidan Tuvey. He was caught out behind a split, and the entire Benelong Swiss Wellness team had to come back to help him out to make sure he got himself back in to contention. There's a large group just ahead here, and you can see how many riders are up in front. Benelong Swiss Wellness, you don't often see them on the back foot, but they were certainly put under pressure with Aidan Tuvey caught behind the split early on in the race. From Haywood to Casterton, 93 kilometres. It's the Queen stage of the Tour of the Great South Coast. Up the main highway towards Casterton before they turn off to at Merino and do a loop up into the hills. Very picturesque stage, but the Benelong Swiss Wellness boys weren't thinking too much about that as they were trying to chase back on. And the strength of that team, they were able to do it. Raphael Freinstein also in the mix as well, just behind Aidan Tuvey there. And all of the Oliver's Real Food Racing boys all lined up, hoping to do something today. They have Nick White that's been right up in the mix and looking to move up in the overall classification. There was a crash earlier on in the stage. 5 riders went down, but no one seriously hurt, so they've rejoined the race and now regrouping as all of the riders came back together before they got to the small town of Merino, where they turned off up into the hills. So a little bit of pressure there for Benelong Swiss Wellness early on. As the closing stages now, 2 riders off the front. And this was Chris Miller from Neuro KOM Financial Racing. It's in the second position, the 36-year-old from New South Wales. Fairly new to the National Road Series, but certainly leaving a dent. Very strong rider, time trial specialist. And he's joined by Sam Hill from Phoenix Cycling Collective. He was second on Stage 2, rode very well. The day that Aidan Tuvey took the overall race lead, he and Sam Hill combined very well. And then in the crosswinds of Stage 3, Hill was really brought undone. Riding poor position. He's not a big fan of the crosswinds and fighting for position, so he lost a lot of time, and that put him down to 9 minutes and 24 seconds behind Aidan Tuvey in the overall classification. Chris Miller from Nero, he's at 6:56 in the overall class. So both these riders are not that dangerous in terms of the overall classification. So Benelong Swiss Wellness did go to the front of the peloton just to control things. You can just see the beautiful countryside here on the roads to Casterton. Haywood to Casterton, Stage 4 of the Tour of the Great South Coast. 93 kilometres, narrow roads as well. The wind was up and about, but mainly headwind in the early stages of the race, which did slow things down. 10 kilometres to go. 2 riders now trying to come across to the 2 leaders out in front. Chris Miller from Nero Racing and Sam Hill from Phoenix Cycling Collective, the 2 riders out in front. And it's Jason Thomason from Van Dam Racing and Patrick Burt from the Drapac EF Education team that have jumped away from the peloton and have moved their way across to the 2 leaders. The gap is stretching. They've gone out over 2 minutes with 10 kilometres remaining, looking promising. They may be able to hold on together. Challenge now with the 4 riders coming together, whether they'll stay working well. It's been a big chase from the riders behind to get up to these 2 leaders. Look over the shoulder there from Hill, happy to get some extra support. On the approach now to Casterton. Only a couple of kilometres remaining, 4 riders out in front, and you can see they've really slowed down, thinking about the sprint to the finish now. It's a really tricky finish. A lot of corners, a little bit of a hill, then a fast downhill to the final turn, which comes at 400 metres from the finish. It's an uphill sprint. This is the final little hill here. So nice little launching pad. If anyone has anything left in the legs, this is the place to go. It's the last hill before the finish. Jason Thomason sitting on the back here, number 122. Van Dam Racing. They haven't won a race in the National Road Series. An attack from Burt, Patrick Burt from Drapac, just trying to test the legs of the other riders. Sam Hill quickly onto the wheel though. Having some troubles at the back here. Chris Miller really starting to struggle. It's been a long day out there for him. So Burt went first. Over the top now though, Jason Thomason attacking over the top of the Drapac rider. Sam Hill still keeping himself in the mix. 1 kilometre to go. 1,000 metres now. Slight lead. Thomason just out in front. Look over the shoulder from Patrick Burt. That was the sign that he's starting to struggle, and now the gap is starting to stretch. This is the last downhill section. Nice little handy lead for Jason Thomason, Van Dam Racing. They haven't won a race in the National Road Series before. And a little bit of assistance, the police car getting caught out there. So there's a little bit of drafting assistance there for Thomason. You'll take that, thank you very much. The police not really paying attention to their mirrors as they come around to the left here, over the bridge. It's the Glenelg River they're about to cross over, then it's a sharp right-hand turn, 400 metres up to the finish line. Patrick Burt and Sam Hill, second position here. Hill over the top of Burt now. There's the last turn, 400 metres to go now. Jason Thomason, can he win his team's first ever stage of the National Road Series? The gap looks big enough. Hill and Burt fighting for second position here. Clearly, it's going to be enough now. Jason Thomason, look over the shoulder. Still, it's uphill. He's trying to get to the line. They're coming at him. Sam Hill coming from behind. Patrick Burt from Drapac in the green. Just gone over the side of him, but he's going to hold on. Jason Thomason from Van Dam Racing takes out stage 4 of the Tour of the Great South Coast, the first for his team. Sam Hill pops across the line for second place, and then it's Patrick Burt. Shake of the head from him from the Drapac team. He'll finish in third. It should be enough, though, for Chris Miller to hold on for fourth place. Stage results there. Jason Thomason picks up Van Dam's first ever National Road Series stage win ahead of Sam Hill and Patrick Burt. Long day out there in the race, though. None of those riders were in the mix in terms of the overall classification. And the peloton coming in 26 seconds behind. Led in by Craig Wiggins from the Mobius team. And Sam Welsford, the big powerful sprinter, just coming across the line to be second in the bunch sprint. So we can take the opportunity now after what was a fantastic stage and the first stage win for you and for your team. Yep. What a brilliant ride.
Yeah, I'm really happy for myself, but I'm also really happy for the team. It's been a long few years, bit of a development team, so it's really cool to see it pay off for Lockie, and it's this time everyone puts in for the team.
It's the hilliest stage of this particular tour. Not that long, 93 kilometres, but a lot of wind out there as well, plus the hills. You obviously enjoyed the conditions.
Yeah, I enjoy a bit of a headwind sitting in the bunch. But yeah, we knew that there was going to be a few climbs once we got off the main road there, and potential for a bit of crosswind. So after yesterday, we just wanted to, you know, have a crack. Wasn't much to play for, just sitting in the bunch. So.
What about early on? There was that split that saw Aidan Tuvey in the second group, and Bennelong really had to scramble to bring it all back together again. You know, were you able to take advantage of that situation?
We had 3 in the front move, so we were sort of just sitting up there, but I could see Bennelong was working behind, so it's sort of pointless just driving that. Like, they're going to bring it back with the power they've got, so you might as well save your powder for when you need it. That
approach to the finish there, quite tricky, left, right, up, down. Yeah. Also saw the police car getting a little bit caught out, not checking his mirrors. Did you get much of an advantage out of that, jumping into the draft?
I don't think so, because...
Say no, because the commissaires might be watching.
Definitely not. If anything, I sort of slowed down because I was like hesitating whether to try go down the right, down the left of it. And then in the end, it just took off right in time. So
perfect timing. But obviously, you had great legs because Patrick Burt did go on the attack. He was the first one to really launch on that last little hill, and obviously you covered that very well and then powered over the top. Great confidence booster coming for the next couple of stages.
Yeah, I sort of, because me and Patrick bridged across together, so I sort of knew what he had. But with Sam Hill, like I didn't really have much idea. Like, I know he's a pretty aggressive rider, so I was a bit nervous in the final 10K when he was about to attack, but everyone sort of just waited to the finish.
Oh, well done to you. Jason Thomason picking up his first stage win in the National Road Series, coming across from Norwood in Adelaide, South Australia. We've crossed the border from South Australia into Victoria, and you've taken this opportunity to come up with your first win, so well done to you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, we can have a look at the overall classifications in a moment, but before we do that, we might just pull Sam Hill in. Sam, we were just talking about how strong you were, and Jason wasn't too sure about your condition. He just knew that you're an aggressive type of rider. You've got the most aggressive leaders jersey after the day, so you'd be happy with that.
Yes, very happy. No, yeah, the result's great. I'm just a little bit disappointed not to get the win, but no, Jason rode very well, and he attacked us with a K to go, and there was a bit of hesitation between me and Pat, and yeah, no, so he really deserved the win.
Now, obviously, the tactic was get out there. You're waiting for the hills. You lost a little bit of time in the crosswinds yesterday. I suppose this is the stage that we were really hoping to show something, which is what you did. What was the tactics once you hit into the hills?
The tactics was to be present near the front because I knew it was going to be hard once we hit those KOMs in the middle of the race. So yeah, I was basically towards the front and I saw an opportunity to get off the front, so I took it. And we're in a group of 5. Eventually, it's just Chris Miller and myself. And then obviously the other 2 bridged across, and we just went from there.
Yep, well done. Now, when they did bridge across, were you concerned? You know, it's easier to sprint against one person than to sprint against 3. Were you concerned when they brought a bridge across? It was only 10 kilometres to go.
Actually, no, I wasn't concerned. In fact, I was very grateful because I was really starting to run out of legs. My power was dropping. I could see it dropping every turn. So it was actually a bit of a relief to see those 2, and they worked very well. And, you know, I've been working on my sprint, so I thought I'd leave it to a sprint, but yeah, just missed out.
Well, congratulations on your second place. That's the second now for the Tour after stage 2. So showing obviously very good form. What are you expecting? We've got another road stage before the final criterium. Can you do something into next day's stage?
Yeah, of course. Obviously I'll be looking to get in the break. Perhaps the 3rd most aggressive jersey would be nice. However, it's not a first priority. Priority is to win the stage. So get in a break and then just play it by ear towards the end.
Oh, well done, congratulations. Good luck for the next couple of days. So we can have a look at the overall classification now, though. Aidan Tuvey has consolidated his lead. He's had the last couple of days at 34 seconds ahead of different riders, but there was a change in the overall classification today. Nick White was able to move up into second place, but still at 34 seconds behind Aidan Tuvey. Raphael Freinstein slips down to 3rd place, so he's still in the mix. But Aidan, this is now deja vu. 34 seconds lead, but it's over a different rider now. So obviously these time bonuses out on the road are playing a role, but it's not such a threat to you.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Tour can be decided over these time bonuses. There's enough out there, and given the two stages left, I think it's all up for grabs, but hopefully tomorrow I can sort of get a few good time bonuses and then follow it with a good crit.
Now, we did see early on in the race, the team and yourself were caught behind. There was a big split and a little bit of pressure put on the team to close it down. Was that a nervous situation for you?
Yeah, I actually just had a puncher, so I was chasing back on, and so the splits were all happening while I was chasing, so it was a little bit of pressure, but I had confidence in my team, and we brought it back relatively comfortable.
The attacks didn't come because you'd punched it? You're not insinuating that there was some untoward tactics out there?
Nah, the break wasn't initiated yet. It was just like bad luck from my behalf, but yeah, it's racing, I guess.
So was it another day of confidence for you and the team, knowing that everything is as it should be in your eyes, that you've got through another stage with a handy lead?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's always nice to try and extend the lead, but I think maintaining it is just almost as good. So yeah, we'll just live to fight another day.
Oh, well done. Congratulations on holding on to the overall race lead. It has been since stage 2, 3 and now stage 4, with 2 stages still to come here at the Tour of the Great South Coast, thanks to Campolina and Visit Victoria. Make sure you keep up to date on Twitter and through Facebook. We'll be going live whenever we can when there's mobile service throughout this region of Victoria. So keep up to date and we'll see you at the next stage.